Alright YouTube, another day. So it is still cold. As you can see outside, a little bit of snow on the ground. The snow's not what's really bothering me. It's not really slushy. The roads are really clear. The biggest thing now is it's just cold. Even my brand new truck, the heater kind of just sputtering when it first gets started. Everything's just creaky and tight, and my hydraulics are super slow on the trailer. But what's crazy is I have to plug the truck in every night when it's this cold for sure, because for you guys that don't have diesels, diesel can gel, and right now it's literally 0 degrees out, and with the wind chill it's probably easily a -10 or more. So you just got to be really careful in this weather with your equipment, your body. My brother, who delivers for FedEx, actually recently got stranded. No heat in the truck, and it was for several hours. So you just really got to be careful out in this kind of stuff. So I am actually headed across the river right now. I live in Illinois. I'm headed over to Missouri, or Missouri, depending on where you're from. And I am dropping a dumpster over there. It's actually just a one-day rental. I'll be honest, when I'm driving this far, I don't usually like to only do one-day rentals, because I know I'm going to be back here tomorrow morning around 7 o'clock to get it. But it is what it is. It pays and it works, and they're right at my delivery limit. So my delivery limit's like 20 miles outside of my service area. This is literally 19. So they fit. They made it. So I'm dropping this over here, and after that, I've got to go pick up the dumpster that I dropped over by the mall, or at Hibbett Sports at their back door. So I got to go grab that. We're going to empty that for the day, and those are the two big things I need to make sure I get out of the way. We might have 1 or 2 calls. This is late in the week, and typically late in the week, that's when everybody starts wanting the dumpsters, because they want them for the weekend. So we'll see what else comes up. But right now we just need to get across the river, drop this dumpster, and go pick up another one and keep the ball rolling. I like to get this stuff started as early in the morning as possible. So rather than dropping this off and then taking a break, I like to go on right to my next one, because you just don't know who else is going to want a dumpster. If I already have one emptied, I don't have to go pick one up from the shop. So I like to really get my day moving in the morning, because then after that, I have the whole rest of the day to kind of do maintenance or bookkeeping, or my other job, which is mortgage lending, or go help with any request I might have from tenants, or just checking in on my building. So we're going to get this rolling as fast as we can, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so I just dropped my first dumpster for the morning, and of course the person wasn't home, and called them, they didn't pick up, knocked on their door, didn't answer. So I texted them, and they said that they were taking their grandkids to get a COVID test. Sorry. And I typically take payment at drop-off. Of course, this was 20 minutes away, so the thing I don't want to do is take the dumpster all the way back home to bring it back when these people are here, because that then just slows down my entire day. So I took a risk. I dropped it. I hope I don't regret it. I've only been burned, honestly, a couple times, and it's never on the initial payment. It's always on the follow-up if it's overweight. So like I said, taking a risk. I usually try to think the best of people. It's kind of hard considering the industries that I'm in, but it is what it is. I'm more about my time management at this point. So I sent them a message about what not to put in it, because I saw some things sitting in a pile that can't go in the dumpster, and now I just hope I get paid. So we got that taken care of. I'm gonna move on. I am in Hannibal, Missouri right now, and I know it's not Colorado, it's not, you know, other areas that are super, you know, mountainous, but I honestly hate dropping dumpsters here. I just dropped the dumpster in kind of like a side street, and that side street is still covered in ice, and everything here is narrow. This place was not built for trucks, and it was definitely not built for trucks in trailers. I mean, I'll give you an idea. This will it probably won't be able to do it, but I mean, everything's like this. There's just blind hills on every side going both ways. Doesn't look that bad in video, although that is a really cool house. I'm sure it needs a lot of work, but dang, that is an interesting looking house up there. So now I gotta try to figure out my way out of here. But like I said, I hate delivering over here, at least in this part of Hannibal. There's other parts that are like flat ground and easy to get around, but when you're pulling a huge load up these hills, especially when it's snowing, like, you literally have to like look over the hood because you want to make sure that there's not a car flying, because the locals just fly through here like it's no problem. Like, so this is what you're working with. You've got cars right here, and I'm gonna squeeze through here. And what really sucks is you can't really go on the road or in the grassy little, because there's 1 foot tall concrete barriers, and the last thing you want is to scrape your truck on those. And like I said, the video does not do this justice. It makes it look way bigger than it really is, because it's super narrow. It's just not fun. And then from here, go up the hill again. Whee! And then my least favorite part is squeezing through the stone barricades. And see, big wall on this side, big wall on this side, and then you've got like this crooked angle of a road. I don't know who, I mean, this is a super old river town, so I get it, but I mean, look at that. That's what I went up earlier. It's just not fun. And this is what we're going back down. And to you guys out in Colorado doing this all the time, I applaud you, because I am just not a fan. I like my flat land. I really do. I'm a little confused because, so this was the Hibbett Sports dumpster I had dropped off. It's been a week. They rented it 4 to 7 days. This was third party though. Another dumpster broker reached out to me and told me to bring this here. Met the guy here. He said he didn't think they need all of it, but let's go find out what's going on. All right, so I moved back to town like a year ago, and I have not walked into this mall since then. Between COVID and Amazon, the mall in our hometown has died. I walked in here, and since it's so cold, I kid you not, I counted like 50, 60 old people just walking laps. It's become an indoor track for old people. And to make matters more interesting, Hibbett Sports was actually closed, and it's 9:20. They said they don't open till 10 o'clock. No store opens in this mall, which is now half of a surgery center. So weird, such a weird layout. But anyway, nothing even opens till 10, so I just feel like I'm wasting my day. I hate wasting my day. So let's just get to the meat and potatoes of this video. Let's actually dive into some of the tools I actually keep in my truck, and just like the essentials I feel like I always need to have in case I get in a pinch somewhere. So I'm gonna leave this dumpster. I'll call them or come swing by later and just say, can I take it? Do you need it longer? The funny thing is, I see the doors open. I wouldn't be shocked if it was raided. Between scrappers, they told me they were gonna throw a bunch of racks in here. And scrappers go through my dumpsters all the time. And I've had a couple of rentals where I came to pick it up and there was literally only a couple bags of trash because somebody emptied out furniture, chairs, racks, just metal. And so sometimes they do half my job for me and make my load really light. So, well, like I said, let's just move on to the next thing. We'll swing by my place. We'll do a little, we'll dig through my truck and see what I got in here for all of the scenarios I come across. All right, so I decided to stop by Kyle's place.
What's up?
It's because we're actually going to do a little part of this video where we show the tools. We're actually going to unload them into his garage because it's so cold out here. I'm not going to stand out here for 20 minutes unloading every tool I have. I might have to run back to the truck, but he has a heater in his garage and we're going to use it. So the funny thing is, we just reached back out to Hibbett Sports and I asked them, are you done with that dumpster? And Kyle, as my witness, they said, yeah, we're done with it. And I was just like, what'd you put in it? And they told me what they put in it. But I think a combination of, like I told you, people taking out what was in it, and because they said they filled it, and I also think they put stuff into the competitor's dumpster next to it that picks it up every 2 weeks. So that was the easiest money I've ever made in the dumpster industry, hands down. So let's just get on to the tools that we got in the truck. There's a lot of things in here. I'm going to pull out as much as I can. I'm going to forget stuff, and you guys can drop stuff in the comments and ask some questions, but let's pull out what we can and what I can remember and see our daily tool selection.
Cool.
Right off the bat, let's grab the remotes. I can put my wallet there.
You got your 9?
There might be a 9 in here. There might. Actually, no, might be a 45.
Oh, I thought you were about to pull out like an AR or something back there.
No,
I wouldn't be surprised. Clayton has more guns laying around his house, hidden places, than anyone I know.
Well, they're not doing me any service locked up in a box.
Yeah, let me just say, guys, if you have anyone you're thinking about targeting for a robbery, this man's not the man to deal with.
I've got those John Wick setups in my house.
Yeah, you got some stuff I'm not sure we should mention. Man, you got a lot of stuff.
Dude.
Team Ryobi, I guess. You know, I used to be one of those like, oh, you got to go with DeWalt, you got to go with Milwaukee, but
man, cheap, and they're
cheap, and they've got like everything you can imagine. You can pump up your.
Almost got too much.
You can pump up your tires. You can mow your yard. I've got a Ryobi mower that I mow my yard with. Yeah, I know. It's battery powered. It's pretty weak, but
still pretty nice to have. All right, so
guys, it's just so you know, it can't be more than 3 degrees out here right now. It is freezing.
All right, so dude, I didn't realize how many things. Oh, I didn't show anybody this. So I don't dumpster dive in my dumpsters. It's not something I do. I would like to dig through my dumpsters. A lot of guys tell me that I should like sell the stuff I find, but check this out.
Dude, that's another business we could start.
Dude, like a resale shop?
Yeah.
So this lady's paying somebody to clean out her house, so she doesn't necessarily know what's being thrown away. And at my feet, I always stand in the back of the dumpster to see if anything like inappropriate falls out. And at my feet are like hundreds of rounds of 308 ammo, and then a 22 AR magazine of some sort falls to the ground. And guess what I started looking for after that?
The gun.
The gun. Never found it, but I picked up a bunch of ammo because, I mean, why not? That's probably the only dumpster dive type thing I've ever done.
All right, let's haul this into my garage, and then should we cut into there?
Yeah, let's just cut into there.
All right. All right, we're live.
Live?
We're live in the Grim Gym.
The Grim Gym. Welcome to the Grim Gym, everybody. I should work out here more. We kind of emptied the whole truck, or at least what we could, and it's kind of weird to see it all sitting here because it doesn't seem like a lot when it's crammed in that single cab, though. It's a lot of stuff. And the funny thing is, I know I'm still missing things, but we got what we got. So first off, traffic cones. You definitely want these for places when you're parking on the street. You're gonna end up parking it farther out. You just put it there as a courtesy. Believe it or not, I think I used to have 5 of those. Now I've got 3. I don't know where the other 2 are.
Yeah.
You guys might have seen me use this before. I actually use this specific shovel all the time in the snow and ice now to scrape my rails.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
good,
so that is a handy one. I think I also have a spade version of it. Sledgehammer, I use this thing all the time. I beat furniture that's sticking out over top because, let's be honest.
You need a bigger sledgehammer.
Oh yeah, I do. But I use this thing pretty religiously. You know, anytime I need to just adjust something, or if somebody puts in a couch and it's sticking over the top, I'll beat the heck out of it really quick, because it's just not worth fighting with customers sometimes about it being over the side and trying to overcharge them.
Not to keep interrupting, but have you ever thought about carrying like a chainsaw?
I have actually.
Like you can get a chainsaw that could go with the Ryobi.
Oh, I've got a Ryobi gas chainsaw, and I've taken it places where I knew I was going to need it. I use this all the time to like chop up.
Yeah, beat stuff.
Contractors all the time will, when they're doing drywall, for whatever reason, they'll throw the 2x4s on the top, and there'll be one or two of them that are sticking out. And it's like, that's just going to destroy my tarp. So I don't know what brand this was. Fiskars. It's like kind of got a carbon fiber handle to it. And I sharpened it, and it is awesome. I can chop through a couple 2x4s in just a couple seconds, and then it's all even and flat on the top. It's not going to destroy my tarp.
Very cool.
Your basic, you know, Harbor Freight or just Walmart toolkit. It has everything you really need in it. A small hammer, pliers, every, you know, screwdriver head, and then your just small sockets. Use that all the time, even if it's down to just, oh, my battery died, I need to take the back off of my controller. I always have my controllers. These things I love when they're working fine and I can step away from the truck, walk around the truck, I can see
that
everything.
Is super handy.
Oh,
yeah, because you're running. One, yeah, you're all over.
I'm like, you know, I'm trying to work the remote and then walking back and forth from the truck.
Yep.
Without these, it's kind of a pain. So those are probably my most important tools in this entire thing. Oh, let's see. Kyle, you pointed what I should talk about.
Well, what the heck is that, like, quarter of a tire?
Oh, the tire. All right, so in one of my videos I showed what this was. I actually kind of did this myself one day. When people don't want me to scratch their driveway, or, you know, or I don't want the dumpster to roll, what I'll do is, as I'm lowering the roller or the dumpster off the trailer, one of the rollers will fall into this, and then as I drive away from it, the dumpster stays in place. It doesn't move with the trailer. Or if I put the truck in neutral and then lower the dumpster down, the truck moves forward, but this kind of just keeps the...
Stays. Gotcha.
Yeah, keeps the dumpster in place, especially on a slight downhill. If it's a huge downhill, this thing's really not going to make a difference, but it does come in handy when... and then when I come to pick the truck up, the roller or the dumpster is sitting in it like this. Imagine this is the back of the whole dumpster. And then the truck just pulls into it, and it pulls up against this rubber on the concrete. So
Clayton will be selling those for $100 a piece.
$100 a piece, quarter of a tire. I will say cutting those is an absolute pain.
Oh, sure.
I'm not going to charge $100. Go to your scrapyard and find one.
Fire extinguisher, is that required?
Required. Oh, things required by DOT. If you're running legally and you got DOT, I know a lot of you guys are under the radar, but you have to have a fire extinguisher. You have to have orange triangles or a flare. One guy pointed out to me that I need to get rid of my flares and get an orange triangle, because flares and fuel don't mix well.
That's true.
I feel like if there's fuel on the ground, I have bigger problems than worrying about the flares, but he is right. And fuses. You have to have a spare fuse set.
That's required by DOT?
That's required by DOT. And those are three things. You also need your DOT medical card. If you have a truck that needs a CDL, you need a CDL. You need DOT. You need your insurance filed by DOT. I know these aren't tools, but these are things that in the DOT realm, those are just like the basics.
What's that blue thing? The
blue thing, that is
sockets?
A bigger socket set. So there's some, I use this even for one of these specifically just for the wheels. And recently, I bought one of these bad boys because when I get a flat tire, I'm tired of breaking my back putting it on.
So is that just like an impact?
Just an impact. And it, you know, it's not going to get it super, super tight. You know, it's not that strong. I mean, it is pretty strong. Even when I go back, I don't really need to, you know, push down on it super hard. But I'll impact all of the lug nuts on, and I'll take them off if they're still loose. That way I'm not spending, 5-10 minutes. It's all about time management. I don't want to spend 10 minutes just trying to get my tire off. I have managed a system of lowering the hydraulic on a set of blocks that lifts the tires. I go in with the impact, I pull off the wheel, and then I put the new spare on. I do it again, and then at the end of the night, I'm probably doing it again once I patch my tire. So I want to do it as quickly as possible, especially when I'm out in the cold.
What else we got?
I don't know why, but why not just have a huge knife? I've actually used that a lot. I don't know why. In my car, I probably have 5 or 6 pocket knives of some sort just laying around. Because
like I mentioned before, guys, Clayton has an obsession with destructive weapons. So
not really. It's just they come in handy. Like, I don't want to be looking. I hated being in my house, and I'm like, I need this. I mean, now I carry a tool set, or just a multi-tool, which has, your pliers, your knives. It has serrated blade. It's got Phillips bottle opener. I think I've actually stopped grabbing tools like this, where you have to dig out the screwdriver and everything.
Yeah, and just pull that out.
And it also has mini sockets.
So, as far as I know, flat tires are a big problem.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
does that
plugs?
Okay, talk about that, but then also I want to know if that Ryobi thing actually works.
Yes.
For your tire pressure, because isn't your tire pressure super high?
Yeah, it's 80 on the tires, the trailer tires. But this thing, it'll go through a solid battery on one tire. If I'm filling it 0 to the top, it'll probably go through one battery. Believe it or not, with these Ryobis, these bigger batteries burn out faster because they're putting out more power quickly. So what happens is usually I'll burn through a full one of these, and then I'll top it off with one of the small ones because it slowly fills it. I could fill the entire tire with the small one, but it's gonna take forever.
Yeah, so you usually carry 3 batteries?
Yeah, I usually have 2 or 3, and then end of the week I usually charge them if I ended up using them, or I at least check them. This Ryobi, $20. Some guys are like, that takes way too much time, but for $20,
yeah,
you saw my one I had before that we used for biking.
Yep.
I probably filled 30 tires with that.
Wow. Before
it finally broke. And that was on the truck, not including everything else.
Yeah, I have one. I haven't really used. I've been using it for my bike, which you've done that as well.
It does it so fast.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't like is there's not a lock on it. So I get a mini bungee cord, and then you lock the trigger down. Or a wire, and you just lock it down and it holds it so you can set it down and do something else.
Smart.
The LED light. Gotta have these. You can't have too many flashlights because when you need one of them's gonna be dead. You got one you set under the truck. You got one you can have on your head. You've got your phone. Never fails by the end of the day. That's dead for me. And then you've got this one super bright. So I've got 3 different types of lights, not including my phone. And there's also a light bar on the back of my truck. So when at night I'm backing up, trying to load a dumpster or empty a dumpster, I've got a huge light bar that just covers the whole area. I can see everything around me, and I can see as I'm backing up.
Yeah, that's so vital. If you can't see, it's so annoying.
Oh man, lining that thing up in the dark, and if you can't see it, such a pain. With those air tanks, I just use this, so this one's empty, but usually once a week I'll fill up this yellow one. And what I'll do is, if this is full, which of course is a bad example because it's not, what I'll do is I'll take this and I'll hook this up to a tire and it'll fill up just like that. Okay. This is like a Harbor Freight special. This doesn't cost hardly, I don't really remember, it might have been less than $50, maybe even less than 30, but that thing is awesome. It just pumps air. It's a little spooky to me because you're driving around with it feels to me like a bomb.
Oh yeah.
If you puncture that, that's gonna make a pretty big bang. But it's never done it. I keep it in the back of the truck. Never have any problems. I really need a toolbox in the back for all this stuff because at the end of the day, I've also got, you need jumper cables in your truck. I cannot tell you how long I drove around without jumper cables.
Sketchy.
So dumb. And the funny thing is I actually have another set sitting in the toolbox of the trailer because this isn't long enough. And what you can do is if your trailer dies, one of the batteries dies, and there's 2 batteries in my trailer, one for the winch, one for the hydraulic. you can actually hook it up to your truck because the alternator is going. You hook it up to your truck, you then hook this one up to the other set of cables if you need them, if they're not long enough. And then I plug that into the truck, and then I can run my hydraulic.
Oh, okay.
I've only had to do it one time, and now I make sure I plug in my freaking
nice to be
trailer
prepared.
like every day. Yeah. So then I have these. These are just like your minor straps. You know, your ratchet straps that you don't need, you know, like a whole lot of, they're not weight bearing. I'm just actually, you know, taking the top of the dumpster. There's something high up there. I'll just throw these over and ratchet it down so it doesn't fly out. This bag's full of bungee cords. Those come in handy all the time. But then over here, I've got more of your, we'll call them DOT standard straps. These are going to be the ones that you need if my shipping container, for example, the straps I use on that, they're like this wide. And you got to strap it like every so often. Yeah, I won't even get into that. Yeah. Like every so many feet. Because someone's going to call you out. Yeah, somebody will call you out and say I did something wrong, or they can't be, you know, tied up. These straps, they're just, I don't remember if these are 10,000 or 6,000 pound straps. These are going to be for your heavier equipment, or there's something really hanging out of the top, or if I need to keep in one of the videos you guys saw, I had the back doors on one of my dumpsters actually broke. Yep. And so I actually had to ratchet strap it closed, and I definitely needed at least one of those to keep the door closed, because it also had like, you know, 7 tons of shingles in it. Extension cord, awesome, especially if you're going to be going somewhere at night and then it turns out to be cold, you need to plug that truck in. So this plugs in the heater on my truck, so that keeps it warm. I've got some padlocks that I can lock up to the wheels and whatever else that I might need them for. You know, these are different types. I have probably 4 or 5 locks in my truck for different things, whether it's shipping containers, dumpsters, or the equipment itself. Oh, chains. Look at all these gloves that have just been destroyed by the cold. I got gloves, and then I even got one of my really cheap Ryobi chargers in here. I know this isn't organized or pretty, but I've used all this equipment at least once at some point. Chains to get things out, or when I'm moving the shipping containers, this is actually how I pull them up onto the sled itself. The rest of this, I've got a funnel in here in case I need a funnel. And then I have at the bottom, I have a tire changing kit. And then for some of my dumpsters, they require bolts for the connection. So I've got extra bolts for where they connect to the trailer in case for whatever reason they broke or bent. But if that happens, I have a lot of questions for people. Duct tape. I feel like that's the #1 thing any survivalist needs is roll duct tape. Believe it or not, I haven't used this that often, but I just cut my finger, so let's make this the first time
cut your finger. Oh.
Yeah, reaching in there.
Oh. There you go. A little Band-Aid.
There we go.
A man's Band-Aid.
We'll get it all over the place. So that is handy as can be. This right here is a cheap battery voltage thing. So I've used this a couple times. It's not expensive at all. You plug this on to a battery to either jump start it, or on my winch. My winch on my other trailer isn't connected, so it'll die. It'll just burn that battery down on my shipping container one. So what I'll do is I'll hook this up to it and then just hit it a couple times. It'll give it enough to pull it in what I need, and then I recharge this, and then I charge my battery to my winch. Some of the dumps, what do they require? They require hard hats and
like a high-vis vest.
Have a high-vis shirt on, which is hilarious because they'll sell you this combination for $40 that they probably spent like $6 on.
My goodness, that's insane.
They probably get this in bulk for like $3. And
probably.
So at the dump, they'll be like, you can't enter the dump unless you have these things. Oh, but we got them. It's gonna cost you $40. So don't get caught without that. Out here in the Midwest, or you know, wherever it's cold, you just need a scraper. This one is my own doing. This is that additive.
That's your pee bottle?
Yeah, this is my additive for the diesel, and this is what I pee into. No, this is actually when I hook up to my I stick this into the fuel tank, and then I actually add this in, you know, look at your recommendations.
Very smart.
So, because you can't pour it in with this, it'll just go all over the ground, you're wasting it. And I don't like wasting that stuff. And then of course, pair of gloves, I've got a coat in the car, and...
We talked earlier about, you know, if you get stuck, you have plywood. Maybe you mentioned that.
Ooh, yeah. I've got small sheets of plywood that I can drive on. I also have strips of 2x4s for when the ground's super uneven, gravel all the time. The dumpster's not going to want to roll on gravel, so I put the 2x4s down so the rollers can go down on that. And then...
Talk about really quick. I was mentioning your pants earlier. Like,
oh man, these pants.
Yeah, they're
so stylish. My wife hates them, but I'm probably
they're
gonna
actually
wear 2 more pairs.
What are they, like chainsaw pants or something?
No, these are. I think, I kid you not, I found them on Amazon. I think these were literally a pair of Wish pants.
Wish pants?
I literally bought these off of Wish. I think.
I don't even know
on
what that
a
is.
whim. It's an app, Wish.
Okay, but they're like kind of heavy duty.
Yeah, and they've got these pads in them.
Yeah, they're like a weird texture. Yeah, you can kind of see that.
It's like a sweatpant, but believe it or not, I found these on Amazon again, and one of them was labeled as women's skiing gear.
Oh.
But the funny thing is that I found a men's version, and they look exactly the same. So I'd say they're unisex.
So those are actually women's.
No, they're unisex, Kyle. But they're so cool. I mean, I was roofing on these when it was like the fall. So I roofed with these in the fall. I never got too hot. And then when I go out in the cold, I mean, I'm fine. My legs are the last thing to get cold. They're weird. They're magic. I love these pants. So we'll make sure you have the right gear on.
Yeah, because sometimes you're inside and out of a dumpster too, and you need something that's not going to rip and tear.
You'll get snagged. For a long time, I used, and I still do, my loafers. I got kind of known for a while for using my Crocs. Yeah. You remember I'd jump up on those dumpsters and be like, he did those in sandals. Yeah. I don't do that in the wintertime as much, but in the wintertime I'm definitely in boots because it's not fun. But okay. Shoot, man, I don't know. I know I'm going to miss something and somebody's going to be like, why don't you have this snatch block? You might want to find a snatch block if you get into this business. Those are handy. Look up what those are and watch some YouTube videos. Those are awesome, but I'm sure some of you guys will have some other things. Why don't you let us know what in the comments, if you do this business or a similar business, what you keep in your truck, because some of them that surprised me, like that one dude said his grandpa buys a pallet of ivory soap, and that's what he greased his bars with. Oh, interesting. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's always something. Always tricks of the trade you're going to find out.
Yeah, because I carry grease every once in a while, but I never even thought to myself, oh, I can use ivory soap so I don't make a mess, so. Yeah. All right, that's it, everybody. I think we're going to call it. We now have to take and put all of this back in the truck, which is stuff.
Yeah. I don't get paid enough by the hour, guys. I might quit.
I don't even get paid by the hour, so that's true. We're going to get this thing. It's kind of nice. I can kind of reorganize it and put it where I want it. But I hope this was helpful. Drop in the comments, like I said, what you do, or if there's something you think I should be carrying that I'm not, because I'm sure that if I can fit it in the truck, I'll probably put it there. And a toolbox is definitely up on that list because I think I've destroyed my my Tupperware container there. So I'll catch you guys next time. Like, subscribe, follow, and I hope to see you guys on the next video.